All right, so in this unit, we're going to be taking a look at circles. We're going to be looking at angles in circles, segments in circles, and then eventually we're going to actually get into some sectors and areas and things like that. The first thing, though, is to make sure we know all the parts of a circle because we're going to be talking about all these parts. So you should definitely be familiar with all the different parts that you see here in this diagram. If you're not familiar with these parts, you should probably pause the video and familiarize yourself with all these different parts that appear in the circle. Now, some other things that you need to know about circles is number one, how do we name them? We name circles by their center. Okay, so for example, a very common way is circle O. That's a very common, O is a very common name for a circle, but it's whatever the center is. So if the center is labeled A, it would be circle A, etc. Something you probably already know is that there's 360 total degrees in a circle. And then we'll talk a little bit about arcs. Arcs are these guys right here. They're just like a piece of the outside of the circle. And if that piece is over 180 degrees, arcs are measured in degrees. They're actually measured in other ways too, but we'll get to that later in the unit. If the arc is over 180 degrees, meaning more than half the circle, we call that a major arc. And if it's less than half the circle, less than 180 degrees, we call it a minor arc. And if it's exactly 180 degrees, we call it a semicircle. So that's some background on the different parts of the circle. And now we can actually talk about some angles that are formed in circles. We're going to look at some pretty complex diagrams over the course of this lesson. But all of them really boil down to these two types of angles right here. We have a central angle and we have an inscribed angle. Now, the way that you can tell the difference with those is where their vertex is. With the central angle, the vertex is actually on the center of the circle. So we're going to write that down. The vertex is on the center. And when that happens, the measure of the central angle, so for example, in this case, the measure of angle CAT, is equal to the arc that it cuts off. So in this case, that would be CT, and that's how we notate an arc. So for example, if this arc was 80 degrees, this angle would be 80 degrees. Now, in the case of an inscribed angle, this time the vertex is on the circle. So it's not on the center, it's on the circle. So the vertex is on the circle. When that happens, the measure of the angle, in this case angle ABC, is equal to 1/2 the arc that it cuts off. So in this example, let's say this arc was 80 degrees, then this angle would be 40 degrees. So using the knowledge of these two types of angles, a central angle and an inscribed angle, we can actually look at some very some much more complex diagrams. So take, for example, this situation right here. This is where two chords are intersecting. So I've got chord BA and chord CD intersecting at E, and I want to know what's the angle of X. And I have the measures of the arcs that they cut off. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add some auxiliary lines to this diagram. You remember we did auxiliary lines back in the beginning of the year. So I'm actually going to add an auxiliary line. I'm going to draw in that line right there. Because what I have now done is I've created an inscribed angle right here. Actually, I've created two. I've got one here and I've got one here. And I know that inscribed angles are 1/2 the arc that they cut off. So let's start with this angle right here. This is angle DBA and it cuts off arc DA. arc DA is 54 degrees, so that must mean that this angle right here is 1/2 that, which is 27 degrees. For this other angle BDC, that cuts off arc BC, which is 32 degrees. And so this angle right here would be 1/2, which is 16 degrees. Now, knowing the fact that triangles add up to 180 degrees, I can simply subtract and find out that this angle right here is 137 degrees. Which means that angle X is simply 180 minus 137 because this is a linear pair right here. So now I know that angle X in this case is 180 minus 137, which is 43 degrees. So that's the case of two chords intersecting. What about two secants intersecting? So here's a diagram of two secants intersecting. They intersect at A, so they actually intersect outside the circle, and I know the measures of the arcs that they cut off, and we want to find the measure of X, which in this case is going to be that guy right there. That's going to be X. We're trying to find that angle. Well, again, I'm going to use an auxiliary line. This time, I'm going to draw my auxiliary line from B to E. Again, forming a triangle. Now, what do I know? I know that this angle right here is an inscribed angle that cuts off arc BD. Arc BD is 30 degrees, so that must mean that this angle is 15 degrees. What else do I know? I know that this angle right here is also an inscribed angle that cuts off an arc of 100 degrees. So that means that this one has to be 50 degrees. And this angle right here, oops, wrong tool. This angle right here and this angle right here, angle CBE and angle ABE, are a linear pair, which means they add up to 180, which means that this angle is 130 degrees. And now I have 2 out of the 3 angles in this triangle, and the third angle is the one that I want. I'm going to subtract from 180 degrees, and I find out that in this case, X is 35 degrees. So that's how we're going to do these pictures. Okay, so let's keep going. I'll get rid of that thing that decided to come along. Okay, so here I have a situation where I've got a tangent, AB, intersecting with a secant, DA, and they are going to want us to find this angle right here, angle BAC. That's the angle that we're going to be looking for. So I'm going to start with an auxiliary line, just like I have in all the other ones. I'm going to connect B to D. Okay, so the first thing that I created, let's look at this angle down here. Here's an inscribed angle that cuts off an arc of 70 degrees. This angle is going to be 1/2 that arc, so that's going to be 35 degrees. Now to find this angle up here, the first thing I have to do is I actually have to extend my tangent. So I'm going to extend AB like so. And what I did was I actually created a linear pair. I've got this angle right here, and I've got this angle right here. This angle on this side is an inscribed angle that cuts off an arc of 164 degrees. So this angle is half that arc, which makes it 82 degrees. This angle right next to it then has to be 98 degrees because they form a linear pair. Which means now I have a triangle, ADB, and I know 2 out of the 3 angles, which will allow me to find angle X. I'm going to do 180 minus 98 minus 35, and I can find that in this case, angle X is 47 degrees. Okay, one more situation. The last situation is 2 intersecting tangents. And we want to find this angle right here. So again, just like all the other ones, I'm going to put in place an auxiliary line. I'm going to connect that right there. Now, what I have here is I have now two inscribed angles that both cut off this arc of 120 degrees, which means both these angles are 60 degrees. That's not always going to happen that way. I mean, they'll always be the same, but they won't always be 60. And then that leaves me with a triangle, and I know 2 out of the 3 angles, so that allows me to find x. In this case, x is just going to be 60 degrees. So that's actually an equilateral triangle. Turns out that when you have intersecting tangents like this, you're always going to have an isosceles triangle, but this is a special case where you actually get an equilateral triangle. So using these 4 situations, we'll actually be able to find lots of complicated diagrams. We'll be able to solve lots of complicated diagrams. And we're just going to use, it's going to be these scenarios over and over and over again, plus our knowledge of triangles. And that's it.